and welcome to the 79th edition of the Marex Maritime News. These are the headlines on Monday, the 16th of August 2021. Wrecked wood chip carrier leaks oil in Japan. Demand to boost oil output to tackle rising gasoline prices. ISO 24060 minimises administrative burden. Dangerous goods, improving risk management. Expert report on container markets. On Thursday, 12th August morning, NYK chartered wood chip carrier MV Crimson Polaris that split into two was leaking oil. The wreck is located about 4 kilometers off Hachinohe port on the northern coast of Japan's Honshu Island, where it ran into trouble Wednesday morning during heavy weather. Prior to the vessel splitting up, all the crew members were rescued and are reported in good condition. On-site response is being carried out by the Japanese Coast Guard. As rising gasoline prices are seen as a threat to the global economic recovery, US President Joe Biden's top aides are pressurizing OPEC and its allies to boost oil output to tackle the rising prices. Biden's National Security Advisor, Jake Sullivan, criticized the world's major oil producers, including Saudi Arabia, for what he said were insufficient crude production levels in the aftermath of the global COVID-19 pandemic. BIMCO and CIRM, Comité International Radio Maritime, have taken the concept of the onboard software law to the International Organization for Standardization (ISO) to automate and modernize it. As a result, ISO has published a new standard on the ship software logging system to be used for operational technology on board ships. With the new ISO standard, life will be easier for everyone, as each ship will be able to keep track of the information about thousands of different software installations. The ship software logging system requires an initial log entry for equipments and includes a repository of electronic service reports associated with log entries.
It's nice to know that ISO standard 24060 is here. Thanks to the great efforts by BIMCO and CIRM, these were earlier known as the software log, which have taken the shape of new standards 24060. ISO has a great history of working very closely with various organizations such as International Electrotechnical Commission (IEC) on literally all matters related to electrotechnical standardization. This applies to developing these current standards as well for the purpose of smooth interface with the marine industry. If we look at the backdrop of this development, we would agree that there are a plenty of software used on a vessel, as we are in times that almost everything is controlled by software. Keeping the records of the software used on board is in itself is a task. Doing it efficiently is certainly rewarding. How is this standard going to help us? Well, I'm a firm believer that this will make it easy to keep the track of the installed software on board. We are in an age where digitalization cannot be neglected. The steps taken by BIMCO, CIRM and ISO is indeed a leap into the future to assist the digitalization process in our industry and help integrating the operational technology in the shipping industry worldwide. Most ships have, for example, softwares associated with our power generation system, propulsion system, controls, fire, navigation and communication, to name a few. The standard software will be connected to all the software used on board and thus making it easy to keep a real-time track of the currency of the same. the standard 24060, the documents sets the guidelines for design and use of shift software logging system, which is going to record the software version for all the equipment which have an updatable software working on board. The process starts generally with the installation of the equipment and follows thereafter. As I understand, there is also a provision to manually update the software if need be. As the time passes, it is expected that the ISO standards will evolve to serve the industry better.
Marine procurement is vast and involve multiple stakeholders. We at InShip, making it seamless for marine supplies and services. The enablers of Team InShip makes your procurement a simple exercise. For ship managers, it is ease of trade with InShip enablers. One of the enabler is InShip as in one-stop procurement of comprehensive offerings. InShip provides spare parts, supplies, provisions, services, repairs, surveys, inspections, and analytics. InShip makes business trading and technology work as one. We enable digital marine, provide access to procurement KPIs for better tracking, deploy big data analytics for predictive and actionable insights. Be part of InShip and leverage our tech enablers. InShip is a one-stop procurement of comprehensive offerings. InShip provides empowered procurement. InShip makes business trading and technology work as one. InShip enablers make your procurement your best buy yet. Welcome aboard and experience marine e-procurement. InShip Shape. InShip Shape Service.
While the series of catastrophic container ship fires experienced during 2019 has happily not been repeated this year, but there is no room for complacency. The incidence of lesser fires and emergencies persists. The May 2021 fire and the subsequent sinking of Express Pearl provides adequate reminder of the complexities involved in the transport of dangerous goods DG. Action taken at the end of July in a strikingly similar circumstances averted Seaspan Lahore from becoming another casualty. Earlier in July, an explosion and fire occurred on board Ocean Trader whilst berthed at Jebel Ali. All these vessels were of modest or even small TEU capacities. But the incidents supremely display the term adjacency risk, being the hazard that may be presented by even a single cargo or a package within one container, whilst amongst a stack of units, whether on board a ship or in a terminal yard.
Fires on board container ships have become a serious problem, leading to the loss of life in some cases and loss of property in all cases. The main reason for this happening that come to my mind is misdeclaration or false declaration of cargo by the shippers. The shippers do this to save on costs because the freight rates on dangerous and hazardous cargo containers are substantially more than the general cargo containers. If the lines can work out as to whether they make more money by having a differential freight rates on dangerous and hazardous and general cargo containers vis-a-vis the costs incurred through these accidents, and whether it would be more profitable to have the same rates for the general cargo. I suspect if the rates for the general cargo and dangerous and hazardous cargo are same, this problem of false declaration would immediately disappear.
Fire on container ships are of a growing concern these days. Fires originating from dangerous goods in containers whether wrongfully declared or not, occur with alarming frequency. Such fires endanger the lives of the crew, harm the environment, and not only cause damage to cargo and ships, but also loss of business to ship owners, charterers, due to detention of ships for damage, repairs, which generally takes long time. The Cargo Incident Notification System has published a new safety guidance for the storage of classified dangerous goods on board container ships. Now, these guidance represents the first in a series of initiatives aimed at enhancing safety on board container ships, and as per the guidance, it is recognized that all cargo-related incidents resulting in fire and explosions are rooted in cargo problems. Investigations, litigations, and inspections demonstrate various deficiencies relating to cargo presented for shipment, which includes erroneous classification and declaration, packing, segregation and securing not complying with IMDG code or not following the CTU code, packaging not complying with IMDG code. Presentation for shipment of cargoes that are not compliant with national and international regulation result in unacceptable risk to all stakeholders like ship owners, charterers, cargo owners involved in this kind of movements of goods. The guidance has been prepared by a work group comprising CINS shipping line members together with representatives of classification societies and insurance organizations. It provides a risk-based dangerous goods storage strategy applying to all sizes of container ships, and it is intended to be used by ship operators, cargo carriers and port personnel. All IGP&A clubs are members of CINS, and it is enthralling to see many ship owners and cargo owners are also members of CINS. The main purpose of CINS is to highlight and address risk posed by certain cargoes and or packing failures in order to improve safety in container shipping industry. For the ship owners being the carrier, it is necessary to ensure overall safety of the cargo while it is carried on ships. The following 8 points must be adhered to avoid any kind of accidents that can cause because of such sensitive cargo. Point number 1 is knowing the cargo groups. There are 3 cargo groups. Group 1, which are extremely dangerous, Group 2 with moderate danger, and Group 3 with lesser danger. Knowing the classification of dangerous cargo. IMDG cargo is usually classified into 9 classification groups. Point number 3, check the labels. Now, checking all the labels on the package are visible and clearly indicate the type and characteristics of cargo. Appropriate labels including the hazard, which is flammable, toxic or corrosive, are also pasted over the package. The label must be water resistant such that even in case of immersion, it should be readable for at least 3 months. Point number 4, checking the cargo documents. As a carrier, you have to ensure that before loading any IMDG cargo, the agent or shipper has handed over the MSDS, which generally state the technical name of the cargo and the declaration certificate showing cargo has been packed as per the IMDG code. Point number 5, check the cargo for correct packaging. Now, if the IMDG code cargo is loaded in a package, ensure to check that absorbing or cushioning material is used with the package containing liquid cargo, which must be competent of absorbing the liquid in case of leakage. The package is kept with sufficient ullage if liquid cargo is carried. And lastly, the cylinders carrying IMDG cargo are pressure tested and certified OK for use. Point number 6, check when handling cargo. Now, while handling IMDG cargo, check the following things. Is the package stored according to the storage plan? No bunkering is going on or is stopped during the time of loading and offloading. The radar is put off, which will be applicable for certain cargoes. The packaging is weather tight. There is no damage or leakage. Follow port regulations on IMDG cargo. Point number 7, inspect when handling explosive cargo. Now, if the IMDG cargo is explosive, ensure that the package is stored over a wooden pallet. All the electrical fittings in that region are disconnected from the source. All electrical wirings are sheathed properly, and the cargo is stored away from the accommodation and hot bulkheads. And lastly, point number 8, know the emergency process. Now, it is very important for the PFSO to prepare himself and his colleagues for any kind of accidents while handling such dangerous cargo. The PFSO must read and understand emergency process for risk when handling IMDG cargo, first aid guide for accidents involving IMDG cargo, and risk associated with cargo by understanding the labels. Now, these are some of the important points that must be considered while handling dangerous cargo. Note that the special attention should be given to instructions that are provided by the manufacturers also for such IMDG cargoes. No doubt that the vast majority of dangerous cargo is carried successfully and without problem. On the occasions where problems do occur, the consequences can be severe. A cautious approach is always to be recommended. As always, prevention is better than cure. I wish everybody safe loading and unloading of dangerous cargo to all the ship operators and carriers.
Now, our container market report, direct from the expert.
The freight rates for containerized cargo continues to rise and with no hope of reaching a peak yet. It is being said that the freight rate quoted at breakfast time will be different and higher at lunch. And by the time it's dinner, it would take a further step upwards. This may have been said on a lighter note, but it's not far from the truth in some situations. It is a fact that shipping rates are at multi-year highs. But have they reached a peak yet? The answer is a definite no. It is being said that the freight rates are being driven by a commodity boom, which is causing a high demand for shipping. And when the demand goes up, the next thing that happens is port congestion, which only aggravates the issue. Raises not the freights, but brings in more surcharges like the usual port congestion surcharge, which then is tagged to the freight for the next few months. The increase in the demand for container shipping is also due to the fact that world economy begins to recover from the pandemic. There are many who ask the question, is this a super cycle for container shipping? To understand the answer to this question, we should know what a super cycle is. Well, a so-called super cycle actually refers to a sustained period of high and increase in prices, and in this freight rates, especially, which is driven by strong demand and low supply for a long period, which is what seems to be happening, but we are not there yet at the peak. The last major shipping boom ended in 2008 as a result of the global financial crisis. It is also a fact that government policy and macroeconomics are at the core of today's very strong markets. We know that authorities are pumping cash into the system through stimulus measures, and that's been a key lever to fuel economic growth. So with these measures and stimuli, the GDP growth is supercharged and is driving commodity demand, and that's the basis of the strong markets that container shipping is enjoying.
Stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you for watching. See you all next Monday.